The community of Eldorado Park in the southern part of Johannesburg has been promised that power will be restored in their area by tomorrow. This comes after a substation went up in flames in the early hours of this morning, causing power outages in surrounding areas. Lindokuhle Xulu, our reporter this hour on the ground since the early hours of the morning. He's got the mayor of Johannesburg, Dr. Mpho Phalatse, with him for the latest update. Lindokuhle, good afternoon.
Well, Praten, investigations as well as repairs are underway at the Eldorado substation, and this is after residents woke up to what they told us was a fire engulfing this particular power station. We do not understand exactly what had happened. Investigations, like I say, are still underway, but we just want to throw to the mayor for the city of Johannesburg. Praten, I should note, when I heard you correctly in your intro, you said that power will be restored by tomorrow, and in fact, what we've been told earlier on is that it would be restored by Wednesday fully. But let's just allow the mayor of the city of Johannesburg to just explain to us in terms of what is the expected time of the repairs to be done fully.
Restoration has already started, so some areas have already been restored. It will happen progressively until worst case scenario Wednesday, best case Monday. But let's prepare for the worst case. So by Wednesday, definitely we would have restored all areas affected.
Mayor, talk to us about the questions that we have. We had mamas, some say sabotage, some say they don't know what happened. But just clarify in terms of the interim report you've received, what is it exactly that happened?
I'm told that at around 5 o'clock this morning, a strange van, stopped in front of the gate of the substation. When security asked what they were looking for, they didn't say anything, and then they just disappeared, and the fire literally started 20 minutes after that incident. So it does look like this ties in with what we've seen happening throughout the city. You'll note that last week I was in the area and looking at acts of sabotage in the area where cable theft and trenching for kilometers on end happens almost on daily basis. Not only here, but citywide, we've had report after report by City Power of theft and vandalism of infrastructure. You also remember that there was a fire, a tunnel fire, that also affected a lot of our electrical infrastructure. So this is unprecedented. This is a coordinated effort by criminal syndicates that are trying to sabotage this administration, this city and its residents, and definitely the economy. We're very worried about that. This is a time for us to recover economically as the city. We should not be dealing with this. But as I promised last week, I have instructed group forensic and investigation services in the city to lead the local response to this, and that work is underway. We are rolling out our strategy. I cannot share too much detail around that, but I can assure our residents that this will stop. We will put an end to this. We've done it before and we will do it again.
All right, a suspected sabotage of some sort that is linked to sabotaging the administration plus the economy. But let's move on and talk about exactly what you said earlier on, to say that there was a van. Soon after that, the fire started. But talk to us about, is there a case that's been opened? Are the security able to identify perhaps a plate number? Just what is it that they have in their corner to ensure that there is prosecution here? And speak to us about the broader aspect of prosecutions that you, or rather people that you've been able to bring to book when it comes to this theft around the city.
With this case in particular, I'd really like to not go into too much detail of what is happening on that side. I would like to say, however, that I've written to the NPA because we are concerned about the level of prosecution and successful conviction in these types of cases, and we want the NPA to be part of the team that's going to fight this war in Johannesburg, and we want them to respond to us with a plan of how they're going to ensure that when we report such cases, there is prosecution and there is ultimately conviction. The good news is I've heard now that one person has been arrested in connection with one of these incidents that have been happening in the city. This morning we've had an arrest. I'm very happy to hear that. I don't want to see that person out on bail or out on the street. Justice must be served. Our residents are going through outages daily. People are frustrated citywide. I'm frustrated as well. The leadership wants to serve the people of Johannesburg, but these people are working against us.
Just as the last one from myself, you said that there's a plan you cannot disclose at the moment in terms of what really you are planning to do in terms of the strategies, but is this plan going to look to this particular substation or broader substations? But we do know that there's also cable theft in far and wide places that do not have security. But is that plan going to cover all of those things?
We do not want to be reactive. We want to be ready. We want to be proactive. We want to gather intelligence. We want to consolidate our resources internally. Currently, what we're seeing is each entity has its own infrastructure protection unit. We're outsourcing security for our critical infrastructure and so on. We would like to clean up that space and see if we cannot be stronger and mightier if we consolidate efforts and resources within the city. And that's why GFAS has been asked to coordinate that, and that work is underway. It will be rolled out citywide, and we'll make sure that we have better security, better intelligence gathering. We're able to anticipate and prevent these incidents before they even occur. But should they occur, we also want to close that link with the SAPS and the NPA to make sure there's successful prosecution and conviction.
Thank you very much, Executive Mayor for the City of Johannesburg, Mpho Phalatse, just giving us an update in terms of what's expected. The expectation is that full recovery will be expected at around Wednesday, but also speaking about the fact that they are suspecting that this might be some form of sabotage or criminal element at least that has taken place. But those are some of the updates that we are receiving. We did speak to residents earlier on just to get a sense really of what is happening in their communities. They've expressed frustration around the response time when it comes to some of the infrastructure damage. I can tell you today there was no such thing as the lack of response. Early as we got here at around 8, there were already city power personnel, people from the City of Johannesburg, councillors, but the residents have also raised some issues around some of the things that are prevalent within their communities when it comes to responses to such damages. Take a listen to one of those residents.
Power in this manner, like big stations like this burns down, you know. People are complaining in the location already about our small power boxes where they have stolen fuses, and then when city power comes out, they put in 3 to 4 fuses and then bridge the rest. Like now, there's an incident in Klipspruit West as well, and I think around Eldorado Park where a few fuses has been replaced and then it's bridged, and just for the lights to go on. But after that, no one comes out to fix the actual problem and replace the fuses and let it run as a whole, you understand?
This infrastructure in Klipspruit West all the way up to Eldorado Park hasn't been serviced for over 27 years. Now, if you think about a place like Klipspruit and Eldorado Park, where there's how many people living here with how many households, but if you look at the joints on these cables, there's more joints than houses. So what happens? It keeps on tripping, it keeps on burning. So all those things is an influx on the crime, because now if you look at the contractors coming in, what do? So there's many things playing a part in this.
Some of the residents of Eldorado Park expressing their frustration to Lindokuhle Xulu there in ending that update, where he just spoke as well to the mayor of Joburg, Dr. Mpho Phalatse, saying that authorities are suspecting that there's some kind of sabotage that is now being investigated in this case. There was a vehicle that was seen in the vicinity of that local substation before it went up in flames in the early hours of this morning.